Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program's Fireside Chat Series. I am very, very excited to introduce you all to our academic leader for the Entrepreneurship Institute, Lewis Foreman. Lewis, thank you so much for being here today and for chatting with us a little bit about the Entrepreneurship Institute.
Thank you, Betsy. It's my pleasure to be with you today.
Awesome. So we'll get things started because I know you are a busy man. Why don't you kick things off by telling us a little bit about who you are, your background, and what inspired you to lead the Entrepreneurship Institute?
Yeah, so I am a serial entrepreneur, which means that I have started multiple businesses in my career. I started my first business while I was a college student at the University of Illinois. And over the last, 49 years, it feels like, no, not 39 years, I've been starting companies that have been in a variety of different industries, from consumer products to medical devices to innovation services.
Great. Yeah, it is always so exciting to and inspiring to hear about your journey from being a college student and starting your own business to where you are now. And I know our high school students are always really inspired by that. As
Well, when I was a student at the University of Illinois, they didn't offer entrepreneurship as a class. And so I had to learn through kind of the school of hard knocks. You learn based on making mistakes. And so that's why it was so important to me when I became successful that I could pay it forward and bring my experience into the classroom. And so I'm just thrilled to be working with both college students at Wake Forest University, but also to be able to work with high school students as part of this summer immersion program.
Yeah, that is you kind of are a hybrid academic leader because oftentimes academic leaders are either Wake Forest faculty or leaders, professionals in a field of study. And we are lucky that you are both of those things. Lewis, you have a very successful business and are a serial entrepreneur, starting lots of companies, also nurturing lots of startups and companies and entrepreneurs. But you also are a faculty member at Wake Forest in the Center for Entrepreneurship. So we are so lucky to have you and thankful that you give 2 weeks of your summer to the Entrepreneurship Institute.
Well, it's the least that I can do. Helping entrepreneurs navigate this process, this journey of going from a great idea to seeing their idea, actually in the market, is a difficult process. It has a lot of risk and uncertainty. And if I can make that process a little bit easier, then it's definitely worth my time.
Well, we thank you for it. Let's move into talking a little bit about what the Entrepreneurship Institute is like. So what can students expect on a typical day in the Entrepreneurship Institute?
As part of the summer immersion program, yeah, so we really take a semester's worth of activities and we condense it into 5 days of classroom experience. So we start off by understanding what an entrepreneur is. We go through kind of an innovation process where we come up with lots of ideas. Every student has the opportunity to pitch their idea in class. And then we narrow down the best ideas and form teams around those ideas. And so by the end of the week, all of the students are pitching in a live pitch competition. And so all the lessons over the course of the week are used as the building blocks to build that pitch deck. And at the very end, you have your recital where you actually pitch your idea. And then hopefully some of these ideas will turn into real businesses in the future.
Yeah, that is one of the most exciting things about the Entrepreneurship Institute. So instead of a Shark Tank, we kind of mimic Wake Forest's Shark Tank version, and we call it a Deek Tank at the end of the week, where the students pitch to judges. And it is something that I always enjoy. And I'm just blown away by the caliber of not only the ideas, but the pitches and the presentations that the students are able to build within the week. So it's really awesome real world experience that the students are getting and able to practice and kind of cultivate throughout the course of the week.
Yeah, there's lots of great information that is shared, but there's great team building exercises as well, and where you're able to come together with students that you don't know and all work together to take an idea and turn the idea into a successful pitch.
Yeah. So that's awesome. I think that gives us a really clear idea of kind of what students will be working on throughout the week. I also know that during the Entrepreneurship Institute, there are some really exciting field trips that the students are able to go on. So talk us through maybe some of the most exciting field trips or experiences that students will get to participate in.
Well, we want to get the students out of the classroom so they can experience and observe what entrepreneurship looks like. One of the field trips is going to Winston Starts, which is an accelerator that is in Winston-Salem. And there they'll have the opportunity to meet with a number of startups and founders and kind of hear their stories. And then probably the real highlight is the visit to Charlotte, where the students get to come to Charlotte and meet with some additional startups. Some of them have a Wake Forest connection, some don't. But one of the visits is to my office, which you can kind of see behind you, but it's in an old historic textile mill in Charlotte, and get to meet some of the people who actually make products that design, engineer, and launch consumer products and medical devices.
Yeah, we love going to Charlotte and lots of cool opportunities to be able to meet and network with entrepreneurs. Um, so this is a question that kind of involves other institutes that we offer. So as you know, this upcoming summer, we are offering 23 different institutes. So entrepreneurship is one of them. In addition to entrepreneurship, students often consider the Business Institute or the Finance and Investing Institute. Can you kind of talk us through if a student is trying to decide between entrepreneurship or something else, maybe kind of how would they make that decision and what should they consider?
Yeah, what we really focus on in the Entrepreneurship Institute is around innovation, ideation, and the steps necessary to go from that idea to actually making money from the idea. And so much of that is probably covered in business and in finance. Those are all subsets. But entrepreneurship is about managing risk and dealing with uncertainty and creating something that doesn't exist out there. And so there's a lot more creativity, there's a lot more innovation that's involved, but it's also determining the feasibility of the idea, because coming up with an idea is easy, right? Anyone can just come up with an idea, but having the fortitude to take that idea and to turn it into a business, deal with uncertainty and risk, and actually be able to create a company and employees and generate profits, that's kind of the steps that we go through and that we really dive deep into over the course of the summer.
Yeah, so I think, of course, in this institute, students will be having to harness a lot of the tools and skills involved with business and involved with finance, because of course they'll have to come up with a budget and things like that in order to launch their idea. So I think that's a good way to look at it. You know, the Entrepreneurship Institute is students actually launching a business and having to deal with the business side of things and the financial side of things. So I think entrepreneurship is a great opportunity for any student, no matter what industry they're really interested in pursuing, because like you mentioned, Lewis, it not only kind of allows students to think outside the box, critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, team building skills, and just it's something that you don't really oftentimes get in a high school. So I think this is a really good opportunity for students who may be considering business, who may be considering finance, or a student who's just kind of not really knowing where they want to land, because so many skills are so critical to entrepreneurship.
We're really going to focus on what is the entrepreneurial mindset. How do you look at a situation and determine whether it's an opportunity? How do you determine if there's a better way of doing something? And if there is, how do you actually monetize that? And so whether you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or you want to be a business person, entrepreneurship is still a great skill to master. And even if you go to get a job after college, having an understanding, having an appreciation, and having the skills that entrepreneurs use will just make you that much more attractive by employers.
Yes, yes. Okay, we're going to segue a little bit just into a few of the more logistical sides of the Institute. So can you talk us through so students and families can kind of envision where does the Entrepreneurship Institute take place on campus?
Yeah, so we are very fortunate to be able to use the business school resources at Wake Forest University. These are modern classrooms with all of the technology, and it's just a very comfortable and conducive space for what we cover as part of the entrepreneurship program. We've got a full class. The entrepreneurship has always been, on a waiting list. So we always have a lot of students that see this as something that they want to pursue. And so it really promotes lively conversations and discussions. And then by the end of the week, when the pitch competition occurs, that's really the opportunity for every student to show, what they're capable of.
Yes, exactly. Another logistics question. What do students need to bring to be prepared for the Entrepreneurship Institute?
Well, the best thing that you can come to the Institute with is a great idea. And so the one thing that I would ask everyone to do if they're considering participating in this program is to start thinking of what a great idea might look like. Look at everything that you interact with in life. Where do you see dissatisfaction or friction or frustration? And start to question, is there a better way of doing it? Most great innovations are just improvements to what already exists. So start to look at the world differently, start questioning why things are being done the way they're being done. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to unearth some of those great ideas to turn them into successful businesses.
Yeah, that is so paramount to this institute, coming with those many ideas so that we can kind of get to that really special idea by the end of the week. In addition, students should probably bring a laptop because, of course, that's how you're building your pitch deck and able to do some research throughout the course of the week. And then the other thing we ask students to bring is at least one business casual outfit so that when we do pitch to our panel of sharks or our judges, the students look really polished and professional when they do that.
And they always do. They do such a phenomenal job. It can be a little bit intimidating, perhaps, that you're going to be pitching, but it's amazing how calm and composed everybody is at this event because they're working with their friends. They're working with people that they just met and now are their co-founders on these ventures. And we always have a great panel of experts, a great panel of judges that provide, really good feedback and guidance to our startups.
Yeah. Yeah, we are always so lucky and we are always blown away. And the judges always tell us this at the end. They say, I just enjoyed that so much. I was blown away. These ideas and these presentations are, incredibly high caliber presentations and pitches. So we're always really, really amazed by just how great our students are able to do. Okay, the next question kind of involves that entrepreneurial mindset and the skills that students will walk away with. But how do you think students' experiences in this institute might connect with their future careers?
Yeah, I believe that entrepreneurship is a great experience to bring to any employer. Today, companies are looking for individuals who are motivated. They're self-starters. They can work autonomously. And so being able to spot an opportunity and figure out a way to create value from that opportunity is what employers want to see their employees have. They don't want just someone who's going to come sit in a cubicle and take orders. They're going to want someone who's going to be able to take initiative. And so regardless of what career you want to pursue, having an understanding of entrepreneurship is going to make you that much more desirable to an employer.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we kind of talked about some of the skills and the insights that students will walk away with, but which ones do you think kind of after students participate in this institute, the Entrepreneurship Institute, what do you think are the key kind of insights and skills that students walk away with?
Well, first off, I think it gives them a different lens to look at the world through. It gives them the ability to spot problems or opportunities and come up with solutions to those problems. But it also gives them the analysis tools and skills to be able to determine whether or not those opportunities are actually feasible. Because sometimes you may come up with an amazing idea, but there's not enough demand, or the price that you're charging is too expensive, or that from a technology standpoint, it's just not possible, given what the parameters are today. But being able to make those decisions, being able to determine the feasibility and understand the process of going from an idea to a business, those are really important skills that you'll use, starting your own business or working for someone else's business.
Yeah. Okay, this is kind of another question about the curriculum, the schedule of the Entrepreneurship Institute. Who will students be interacting with throughout the week? Because I know that, you will be teaching them for the majority of the time, but I also know there are other guest presenters that we talked about. So talk us through some of those guest presenters and who the other people are that students will get to know throughout the week.
Yeah, we try to build a really supportive network of individuals as part of this program. It starts with the actual student advisors. So we've got Wake Forest students who are going to be working with the high school kids, getting them to class, taking them back from class, helping them with their projects, and providing a little bit of fun as well. But then we bring in experts who will talk about their experience. We'll have our field trips where you'll learn from other successful entrepreneurs. What were their challenges? What risks did they undertake? What was their story, their entrepreneurial story like? Did they start a business right out of school? Or did they go get a corporate job after graduation and learn from an employer before they actually went off and started their own business? And then finally, by the end of the week, you'll meet the other judges. Some of those are other university professors. Some of them are local business people who will come in and provide feedback on the pitches, as well as some guidance and perhaps mentorship.
Yeah, and I always think it's so interesting hearing from entrepreneurs just because it's always inspiring. Because I know you mentioned kind of after walking away from the Entrepreneurship Institute, students will be thinking through kind of an alternate lens where they have this entrepreneurial mindset at the top of their mind. And I feel like that happens to me every year. I always walk away from this institute inspired and just kind of thinking about the summer immersion program in ways that I can make it better. Actually, the Fireside Chat series is actually an idea that I came up with to be able to provide additional information about our institutes to families. So I do think it's just a really awesome thing that students will be able to kind of identify those areas. One question I wanted to ask that made me think of what you just said. We hear from such a diverse array of startups and entrepreneurs. It's not just entrepreneurs in the tech industry or, it's so diverse. So I know that year after year, our entrepreneurs that the students are able to hear from changes, but just give us like an array of the different types of businesses and the different types of entrepreneurs that the students have been able to network with in years past.
Yeah, over the years, we've had very successful entrepreneurs in food and beverage, in hospitality, in professional services, in physical products, the stuff that you buy every single day. It's just such an interesting array of businesses. Many of them have a Wake Forest connection to them, but others are just very successful businesses, in the Charlotte or Winston-Salem area, and they want to, kind of share their story with the students. I think the best way to learn entrepreneurship is to observe entrepreneurship. It's not about a textbook as much as it is understanding the principles that guide an entrepreneur through this journey, and recognizing that, if you've got the tenacity, if you've got the will, if you've got the great idea, and you're willing to kind of work hard, you can be successful at it as well.
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so we are now going to segue into learning a few fun facts about you, Lewis. So that's always something that I enjoy learning about our academic leaders. So talk us through, what is a fun fact about yourself that would totally surprise the high school students that you'll be working with this summer?
Yeah. So one of the fun facts is I've never really had a job. So, unlike other than, working at a Baskin Robbins scooping ice cream when I was in high school, I've always created my own opportunities. And that's through entrepreneurship by starting businesses. It's enabled me to, love what I do every single day. And so, one of the fun facts is not working for others. The other fun fact is, I really enjoy candy. I don't know if you could see over my shoulder here, but that is like my main food group. So I would rather, fill up my calories with gummy bears and Swedish fish and chocolates and other forms of candy than to eat anything else.
That is so funny.
Maybe not the healthiest, but
Yeah.
it works.
That is something I did not know about you, Lewis. So I feel like you would be a really, really
Um,
healthy person,
well,
but
I eat healthy candy, so.
that's kind of an oxymoron, but I understand what you're saying. Okay, rapid fire questions. So, what is your favorite hobby?
Boy, favorite hobby. For so many years, I didn't have hobbies because I worked all the time. But honestly, I think what I enjoy the most is just being around people. And so whether it's speaking at conferences, whether it's traveling to events, whether it's mentoring students, whether it's, the board work that I do, I think the thing that I enjoy, the thing that I find the most rewarding is being able to pay it forward.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's the really, really cool thing about you and this institute is um, I love that you say, teaching students is kind of like therapy for you because you've put so much effort and work into starting businesses and, nurturing startups and nurturing entrepreneurs, that being able to give back is like therapy to you. So I love that you say that. And our students are so, so fortunate to be able to learn from you. Um,
Thank you.
this is another rapid fire question. So,
Okay.
what is the favorite place that you've ever traveled?
Anywhere warm that has a beach or a pool. So I do not like this cold weather that we're experiencing now. And I promise you, come summertime, Winston-Salem and Charlotte are going to be plenty warm, so there won't be any issues there. But I do like to travel, and I'm very fortunate to be able to go to some amazing places for conferences or speaking events or just vacation. But if it's warm and it has a pool or a beach, that's a pretty good fit for me.
Yeah, I think that's a great fit for me too. All right, we're winding down this fireside chat, so thank you for your time. But if you had to describe the Entrepreneurship Institute in just 3 words, what would they be?
Oh, wow. 3 words. Compassion. There are really great people who understand how difficult entrepreneurship is and how lonely the process can be, and so these individuals can help in that guidance. Um, Creativity, right? Finding those great ideas, harnessing, your creativity and being able to come up with a game-changing idea for a product or a service is so important to entrepreneurship. And then connectivity. There are so many relationships that can be forged as part of this program, whether it be through your peers, whether it be through the instructors or the entrepreneurs that you'll meet as part of the networking. These are going to be people that will be in your professional, LinkedIn contacts, hopefully for the rest of your life, and that you might be able to leverage for mentorship or a job or an investment at some point in the future.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you also pulled in marketing as part of entrepreneurship, the 3 C's: compassion, creativity, connectivity. Yeah, I totally agree with those words. And I just think this institute gives students lots and lots of opportunity and lots to think about for where they want to go in their future. Um, all right. So the next, almost last question. Finish this sentence. You should experience the Entrepreneurship Institute if you're someone who like.
You're someone who wants to control your own destiny.
Yeah.
So, the great thing about entrepreneurship is that you're in charge. You get to be your own boss. You get to control your own destiny. You get to decide what days of the week you want to work, how hard you want to work, or how little you want to work. You get to create a legacy that people will remember you because of what you did. And so controlling your own destiny can be really powerful as an entrepreneur.
Yes. If you don't want to ever have a real job like Lewis.
Right.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about working with the high school students in the summer immersion program?
I'm just always surprised at how bright the high school students are. They have access now to more resources than previous generations. And so not only are they well prepared, but the level of output and the quality of their presentations, in many cases, is as good as what we're seeing from the college students. So I think that's going to just continue to grow. And I think a lot of high school kids are exposed to entrepreneurship a little bit in high school, or they've seen it on social media, or maybe they come from a family that has entrepreneurs in the family. But we're seeing more and more entrepreneurial activity at younger ages than we've ever seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Our last question of our fireside chat is why Wake?
Well, I think Wake has such a great culture around business and entrepreneurship. Besides the facilities and the instructors, it's just a really special place. It's a beautiful campus, and it's an opportunity to see firsthand, why so many people choose Wake Forest as their university of choice.
Yes, I totally agree. And we have people like you who are taking time to teach our students. So it is all about community and kind of that tight knit feeling that you get when you come on campus. So Lewis, I thank you for your time. I thank you for serving as academic leader for the Entrepreneurship Institute. Thank you so much for joining me for this fireside chat.
My pleasure. And looking forward to seeing everybody over the summer.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for watching. And if you do have any questions about the Entrepreneurship Institute, feel free to reach out to us at Summer Immersion at wfu.edu. Until next time, thanks everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.